Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC statutory meeting. Today's date is Thursday, July 16th, and the time is 9:02 a.m. We will call this meeting to order. First up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Marcy, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will take attendance beginning with Mr. Hirsch.
Brendan Hirsch, County Attorney's Office.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero.
And thank you to everybody else in attendance. Are there any modifications to today's agenda?
There are none.
I will ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That'll bring us into public comment. I've got one person on the sheet here, and if anyone else would like to speak for public comment, just let me know. But first up, we've got Noah. Sir. Oh, there you go.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
BOCC room. I'm Noah Comerford with the President and CEO of the Latino Chamber of Commerce. And the reason why I'm here is to chat through and ask if we can get Pueblo County on a lower membership tier with us since we have crossed the halfway point in the year. Earlier in the year, we had billed the county just like we do our government partners at an $11,000 rate. And I know that seems very, very high. And there's a reason for that. That covers all of Pueblo County, all agencies, all departments, all committees, commissions. So if you were to multiply our corporate membership rate of 825, it would exceed that 11,000. So my ask to you all is to lower that for the rest of this year to $4,000. And the reason why I think that's a more than fair ask is because we want to keep that close-knit partnership, especially as we navigate through the Aspen Acres fire relief. We know that that's going to be a huge recovery process ahead. And some additional ways that we work together in the economic development field. We are very, very good at small business development, and that's really our bread and butter, Pueblo's niche. When small businesses are successful, the entire economy is successful. We are a trusted resource. We refer and connect a lot of businesses, individuals, students, business prospects to county departments for licensing and permitting, those kinds of things. We also promote business expansion and investment opportunities all throughout the county. And I've let Commissioner McFeeters know when we've met one-on-one, anytime that you guys or the building department has a big or any kind of prospect come into town, we are more than happy to host them at our office, give them a tour of Pueblo, and really just be that trusted, credible voice so that we can add more puzzle pieces to the puzzle. And in terms of workforce development, we have a lot of templates for professionals and students. Our online job board has a lot of jobs throughout the year, so we're always happy to share open positions, set up internships, shadowing opportunities for students or professionals looking to change careers. We are really good at marketing resources, initiatives, any kind of special information, events, programs that are housed or hosted by the county. And from an educational perspective, we have about 20 workshops a year, different trainings, listening sessions, briefings, and roundtable discussions that Commissioner Lucero has been a part of. And a couple months ago, Commissioner Lucero and I spoke as the county was transitioning its leadership model. I had offered the opportunity for us to host a listening session at our office to get some of those new folks acclimated to the business community, hear from our board, hear from our staff, and just be a credible, intimate conversation. So we'd certainly love to do those. And even if it's a meet and greet format, we're happy to do that. And then we have had the county as an ex officio representation on our board. Commissioner Lucero is currently in that position. And we have 2 meeting spaces at our office. I think at some point, one of you 3 at some point have used that space. And a couple of years back, Clerk and Recorder Rivera used it for a multi-day training. So it was a really well-run training, and it also allows us to build rapport with the county. And we have helped Pueblo County on different ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, special news releases, grand openings. And Arnold and I, with the building department, also have talked about hosting a ribbon cutting celebration for the new building department and even getting state representation here just to build more trust and really educate the public on what that new department's all about. And finally, we're always the big drivers, big proponents. Anytime we need to be Pueblo County, Southern Colorado's biggest cheerleader, whether it's here locally or anywhere else that we're in the state, we always talk that Pueblo is a very awesome, amazing place to do work, raise a family, call home, open a business. And especially the last couple of weeks, it's been amazing to see how unified we've been. The world's full of chaos, full of division. And the more that we can tout that and promote that, the better off we'll all be. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Noah.
No, appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for public comment? Going once, going twice, okay. Yeah, no, just real quick, I would just say that, we certainly are appreciative of your organization and, I'm a past board member on the Latino Chamber and we appreciate everything that you guys do along with the other chambers. As you're well aware and as really everyone's well aware, we are where we are in a budget crisis and you bring up the Aspen Acres fire and we'll have some more comments on that today. That is a massive hit to this community. And you're right that we all do have to pull together and work together. So I certainly appreciate y'all and the presentation and we'll certainly see what we can do with trying to get some partnership reinvigorated through money. So cool. We have two proclamations today. The first is designating July 17th as Parks and Recreation Month. You guys want to flip a coin or?
I'll knock out this first one.
Okay.
Okay, so this is designating July as Park and Recreation Month, the entire month. What an honor. All right, whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pueblo County recognizes that parks and recreation are powerful community assets that improve the quality of life, health, wellness, and economic vitality of residents through Pueblo County. And whereas the power of parks and recreation is demonstrated daily through opportunities for physical activity, social connection, lifelong learning, environmental stewardship, youth development, cultural enrichment, and outdoor recreation. And whereas Pueblo County Parks and Recreation provides accessible and affordable parks programs, community centers, recreation facilities, trails, open spaces, and natural resource management services that serve residents and visitors across Pueblo County. And whereas parks and recreation professionals, volunteers, community partners, and supporters work year-round to maintain safe and welcoming public spaces, deliver quality programs, preserve natural resources, and create opportunities for residents of all ages and abilities to thrive. And whereas parks and recreation facilities serve as important community gathering spaces that foster inclusion, civic engagement, volunteerism, and neighborhood connections while enhancing community pride and quality of life. And whereas parks and recreation contribute significantly to Pueblo's economic vitality by attracting visitors, supporting local business, enhancing property values, and improving the desirability of Pueblo County as a place to live, work, and recreate. And whereas parks, open spaces, and natural areas protect environmental resources, improve air and water quality, support wildlife habitat, and provide opportunities for residents to connect with nature. And whereas parks and recreation infrastructure and facilities play an essential role in community resilience, emergency preparedness, public safety, and disaster response efforts throughout Pueblo County. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners recognizes the dedication and professionalism of the employees, volunteers, community partners, and supporters who make the power of parks and recreation possible for the residents of Pueblo County. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners, by the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim July 2026 as Park and Recreation Month in the County of Pueblo, Colorado, and encourage all residents to celebrate the power of parks and recreation by visiting our local parks, participating in recreational programs, enjoying outdoor spaces, volunteering, and supporting the parks and recreation services that strengthen our community. And I know, Commissioners, we do have another proclamation related to this, but I did want to say, I cannot overstate to the community what this group of folks in this room and the Parks and Recreation team has done and the way that they have stepped up during this crisis. For those that don't know, Amanda Hobson, Abe Armandaris, and their team, all of our Parks and Recreation staff, they have been entirely responsible for staffing the evacuation center, accepting donations. Actually, in fact, I'm a little bit worried as to what is going on over at that place right now because all of you are in this room because you you guys are always there, literally around the clock. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys have been heroes in all this. The community owes you a huge debt of gratitude. And I just, there's really not enough words of thanks on my end on behalf of the community to say thank you for the sleepless nights, the literal 24-hour shifts that you guys have been putting in. And it's not part of your day-to-day job, right? This proclamation talks all about the importance of our facilities and our open spaces. It mentioned disaster response, but to see you guys step up in the way that you've done it's amazing. So I just want to tell you personally, thank you for what you've done. Couldn't have done this whole thing without you the last couple of weeks. So thank you very much.
Well said, Commissioner, and it leans into the next proclamation
Sure.
that I'm going to read for Park and Recreation Professionals Day. We, the Board of County Commissioners of Pueblo County, recognize that Parks and Rec are essential public services that strengthen communities, improve health and wellness, conserve natural resources, support economic vitality, and enhance the overall quality of life for residents and visitors. And whereas Pueblo County Parks and Rec provides diverse recreational opportunities, parks, trails, open spaces, community centers, natural resource stewardship, youth development programs, wellness initiatives, and community events that serve individuals and families throughout Pueblo County. And whereas the National Recreation and Park Association's 2026 Park and Recreations Month theme, The Power of, highlights the transformative power of parks and recreation to bring people together, strengthen health and well-being, foster environmental stewardship, and build resilient and connected communities. And whereas Pueblo County recognizes the dedicated park and recreation professionals, seasonal employees, volunteers, community partners, and supporters whose commitment, innovation, and service help create safe, welcoming, inclusive, and accessible spaces for all residents. And whereas these professionals work year-round to maintain our parks and facilities, deliver recreation programs, support our community events, and respond during emergencies, protect natural resources, promote healthy lifestyles, and provide opportunities that enrich the lives of our children, youth, adults, and older visitors throughout Pueblo County. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to recognize and celebrate the essential contributions of park and recreation professionals whose efforts positively impact the health, wellness, economic vitality, environmental sustainability, and overall quality of life within Pueblo County. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners, by the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim July 17, 2026 as Parks and Rec Professionals Day in the County of Pueblo, Colorado, and encourage all of our residents to recognize, celebrate, and support these dedicated professionals who demonstrate the power of parks and recreation in our community every day. In witness thereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seals of the city and county of Pueblo, Colorado to be affixed this 17th day of July, 2026, your Board of Pueblo County Commissioners. And I can only add to what Commissioner Lucero has said as I have visited the drop-off center and seen the work that you all have done. Amanda Hobson and Abe have worked tirelessly. Your team has worked tirelessly. I never understood what it meant to be an emergency location when you talked about it. And then to see the last 2.5 weeks, what you've had to do. There are no words, but thank you. But we know you've given more than that. You've really helped people. You've done your job, but you've also been encouragers and you've smiled and you've been that extra comfort to people who have been in such a stressful situation. And that's going above and beyond your job in terms of being that human connection to what the work is, being there and being available. It's just perfect timing to have 2 proclamations for the work that you've done. So thank you all for doing that.
Yeah. I think that both my colleagues have covered a lot of it, but just again, gratitude to to all of you for your efforts in this. We've built some relationships, and Abe and I have had some pretty funny conversations. Yeah, I mean, just seeing Amanda, yet with that smile on your face, whether it's in EOC or floating around or out at the donation drop off. So you guys have really stepped up from the establishment of the food thing and us going back and forth on that, and the ability just to flex and kind of roll with the punches on things has been pretty impressive to me. And I know that both y'all have things in your backgrounds that can lend itself to this, but to be able to bring that to bear for your whole team is super impressive, and to go above and beyond is quite frankly not shocking to me with this group. So we sincerely thank you on behalf of this board, the county as a whole, and the citizens out there who may not even know the things that you're doing. So we appreciate you very much. Now you get to come take a picture if you want.
Well, does anybody want to say anything?
Yeah.
And any of you are welcome to speak.
Most of all, I just want to say thank you to my team. Tomorrow is Parks and Rec Professional Day, and we just want to honor all of them. You have most of the parks crew here. My recreation team is actually out doing the work right now, running the community centers and running programs, so they're not here. But just in the whole picture, we want to thank them. A lot of them have gone with barely any days off in the last 19 days, I think. So we just want to thank them and everything they've done. They've stepped up and shown what community means.
Very well said.
All right, let's come. to
Anybody
the
else?
picture, guys.
Now the fun.
No? Why not?
Abe, we know you love getting your face on camera. But
Yeah.
Mhm. Again, thank you to all of you for everything that you, again, just not in this. I know that we thanked you so much for the current disaster that we're facing, but day to day, the operations that you guys do and the services that you provide for this community is very much appreciated. That'll bring us into our consent agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
Yes, our first item, 4A, is a resolution continuing the authorization of a declaration of local disaster emergency regarding the Aspen Acres area fire. Our second item, 4B, is a resolution approving the agreement between the Pueblo County Hispanic Education Foundation and Pueblo County to administer the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative Fund on behalf of Pueblo County for academic year 2026 through 2027. And our final consent item, 4C, is a resolution nominating members and alternate members to the Monetary Mitigation Fund Advisory Committee created by the Board of Directors of the Fountain Creek Watershed Flood Control and Greenway District.
I don't have any questions on any of this, but I don't know if you guys do.
I don't have any questions. I think it's just worth mentioning the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation contract is for 395, let me get it right, $395,000, 778, sorry, $395,778. This will allow PHEF to secure the COSI, which is a, let's see if that's in there, Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative. That's a state level scholarship where the county can provide our half of the match. So this is, just an excellent opportunity to use those excise tax scholarship dollars, and we really are doubling our investment when it comes to Pueblo kids having access to more money. So this is the first of what we will likely be several contracts that we enter into for the 26-27 school year and scholarship dollar funding. But I just wanted to highlight that this is a really good one, and it allows COSI or PHEF to kind of get moving on those scholarships. So thank you to them, and thank you to staff for getting this on agenda today. And that is all I have for those items.
Yeah, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That'll bring us into our regular agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
Our first item, 5A, is a resolution approving the Chief Administrative Officer reporting structure. And this was at the request of the commissioners. So I know, Lucero, if you'd like to.
Sure, I can
Present.
speak to this one as well. So on Monday, we will have our new Chief Administrative Officer joining the organization. His name is Robert Choi. I'm very excited to get him on board, and we will definitely give him the opportunity to introduce himself publicly and kind of talk about his previous life and why he wanted to come to Pueblo and the things that he has, all the grand plans that he has to help us move forward. But while so as we're anticipating that new CAO, we wanted to be explicitly clear about the positions that will report directly to the CAO. So those positions are the 1A project manager, the senior project manager for the detention center, the building safety manager, there's an executive assistant, our grant writer, and then we are moving over both the facilities department and the Parks and Rec department. And those, the heads of those departments will report directly to the CAO effective today. There is also a change to the Runyon reporting structure. The Runyon general manager and all of their reports will now report to the current deputy director of Parks and Recreation. And there are a couple other small changes within the public works and facility side of the house. The staff architect and their direct report, along with the program energy management, the program manager for energy management will now also report. Those two positions and their reporting structures will fall under the current deputy director of facilities. In conversations with our director of public works and our facilities folks, we felt like the staff architect and the energy manager, they really are more facilities aligned. And so it makes a lot of sense to kind of make that, as we're moving over facilities out from under public works, we also thought it would be appropriate to kind of shift those closely aligned positions along with facilities. So while this may seem like a lot, we have talked about it. There's been significant planning around this. Staff is aware of these plans. We have good buy-in from our leadership on this. So, I think my goal with our new CAO is he's got a lot to learn about the county. We want to give him a strong team that he is surrounded by, that where, we have experienced folks that are reporting up to him, can help him learn the lay of the land, but we also don't want to overwhelm him with every potential position that used to report to the county manager, for example. So this is kind of our phased approach as, getting him on board, getting him up to speed, giving him a strong team around him with experience, and then we will continue down our path of continuing to reorganize the county.
Yeah, no, I think that was a very good explanation. And you alluded to it towards the end. I mean, we're still going to have some changes in the future. I think we've gotten a lot of the big ones out of the way. And you're right, as our CAO comes in, we gauge how everything is working, and there's nothing that says that we can't adjust this model even further. But I think that this is, quite frankly, a path to success for this organization. It does take a while. we're a big organization, and as folks say, it takes a while to, turn a cruise ship around, and we're a big organization. So it's taken a little bit longer than, I don't know if we would have liked, but we need to see where the dust settles on a lot of this stuff. And I think that this is a very good model. And again, it's distributing a lot of that responsibility amongst the C-suite and ourselves as the BOCC. So I think that that is a better approach than what historically has occurred at this organization.
I agree, and I appreciate your comments on it. I think the one thing I would say is organizational change is hard. And there's no perfect way to do it, and we're in the midst of it. And as we continue to go through these changes and get the right people in the right places, we will learn more about how to better operate the organization in a way that's more efficient. And again, we've had a lot of challenges in the midst of trying to do this. I don't think any of us planned on a natural disaster that we've been having, but I think the one positive is we've watched our organization flex and do things we weren't sure some of our departments could do in a time of crisis. And so it's given me a lot of hope that the organizational changes that we're in the midst of, that folks can understand the purpose behind it is really to build a more efficient government that's responsive. And I think that's the end goal. To say that it's going to be a perfect thing, I don't think any of us have said that. We've just said we've got to move. And we learn as we go, and bringing on our new CEO will open up more opportunity because of his experience and knowledge. There might be some things that he wants to do as well that will help improve it. But thank you for the description, Commissioner Lucero, and the org chart. I think it's a good move right now because I do agree we have a huge amount of departments in our area that we don't want to overwhelm this new role. We need to give him time to learn and understand. And then as we go down the road, those other departments can be looked at. But I think it's a good model moving forward. And again, for those that don't understand what we're doing or why we're doing it, the end goal is to make a more efficient, lean organization that's responsive. And we've had a few things to tackle in the midst of it all, but we're getting there. It's July, and our new CAO starts on Monday. So it'll be something I hope you'll take the time to meet him and get to know him. He's a really kind person in my interactions with him, very knowledgeable, and is excited to come to Pueblo. And he's coming from New York City. So I found that interesting. He really wants to be out west. He wants to be here. Now, I'm not sure with the fire, what his impressions are. Probably a little bit different. He talked about mountains when I talked to him, but at any rate, it's going to be an exciting change for us, and I'm looking forward to more improvement as we go. Was this an easy thing to do? No. But I would say, I think our board's pretty brave. We do things that probably most other boards would not have done because I think our mindset has been, well, it's already here. Can't get any worse. Let's try this. So I think that's where we come from is, we don't have anything to lose in the sense of where we've been and where we're going. We see a vision for where we think we need to go. We've got the right people to do that. And honestly, it gives our staff the ability to rise to the occasion as well. So appreciate the visions, and I appreciate the organization behind it. And again, I'm really glad that we're at a place where we're going to be having our CAO on board, and let's keep moving.
Well said, ma'am. And just to clear up any confusion, the BOCC does still have several direct reports, including our entire chief structure, our public information officer, and then we still have the directors of some of our bigger departments. That includes Public Works, that includes the Director of Planning and Development, that includes the Director of DHS, are still all direct reports to the board. And I think it's worth mentioning that one benefit of this move of getting facilities and parks out from under Public Works is I know roads are a huge focus for us, especially going into 2027. This allows our Director of Public Works to do what he's really an expert at, and that is strategize about how do we get our roads eventually where we want them to be. So this, having two rather large departments in the form of parks and facilities, while they're led by great people and require very little micromanagement, it's a lot of staff reporting up to a person that now are off of that plate, and we have the ability for our Public Works Director kind of focus in on what we see as kind of the foundational piece of public works.
Yeah, well said. And I think just letting them do their job to the best of their ability. And quite frankly, I think folks have been underutilized in the organization. And I think that this allows them to really stretch their legs and show their true capabilities. So we appreciate it. And then just real quick, just the director of CSU Extension and Correctional Services will still respond to us for the time being.
Thank
but
you, sir. Thank you
yeah.
for that clarification. Yeah, those are some positions that we've kind of gone back and forth on and likely will report to the CAO is how we have envisioned it. But for the time being, those positions will continue reporting to the board. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you all. I will ask for a motion to approve item 5A.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Okay, your last item, 5B, is a resolution authorizing a letter of request from Pueblo County to the Colorado Department of Local Affairs Energy Mineral Impact Assistance Funds for emergency funding related to the Aspen Acres Area Fire Disaster Recovery Process. Here to present is Josh Johnson.
Excuse me. Good morning, Commissioners. So as you're aware, we briefed on this on Monday at your work session. We are planning to hire an recovery and resilience manager. This grant is a DOLA grant that pays 75% the first year, 50% the second year, 25% the third year. The application is simply the letter before you that's in your packets. That goes from you, once signed by the chairperson, to DOLA. It's an emergency grant, considered as such, so there's no open or closing window. Once they receive it, we will have a response back roughly a week and a half to 2 weeks on whether we receive that or not. I have submitted the job application or the job description as I have written it to our new HR director, Chief Human Resource Administrator. She is doing the official job description on the county side, doing the salary estimate and all the costing. But the way I wrote it was to make it similar to my deputy emergency manager. So hopefully it comes in at that grade. So that's the cost you have there. Roughly $100,000 a year. That includes benefits over 3 years. So that comes out to $300,000. Then we added $60,000 in there as well, basing that off of the Huerfano County and the Spring Fire from several years back. To hire any consultants that may be needed for expertise here and there. That could be one consultant for 60, that could be 10 consultants at 6,000, but we have some consultant fee built in there. So that brings it to a total of 360,000 over the 3-year period. If we decide in year 2 that we no longer need this position, that we're hunky-dory and everything's grand, we can let them go and not have to, we're not obligated to keep them for the full 3-year term. But that's the application in front of you. Again, once signed, I can personally hand it to our DOLA rep that's in the EOC, and that is the submittal process.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I mean, this position is obviously very much needed. I mean, needed yesterday. And I know that we've all been working hard to get that thing across the finish line and get it posted. And I appreciate you and your staff. And I spoke with the sheriff yesterday about some different options, but I appreciate you guys stepping up and picking that up and then maybe having to, share that burden until we bring that person on board, because it is absolutely needed sooner than later.
Running the disaster assistance center the way we currently have it, switching to a recovery assistance center on Monday, I think our final plan is my deputy, one of Tammy Torres's deputies, and then one of Carmen Howard's deputies, Jen. The 3 of them are going to do what I'm calling a unified command. Those 3 will make all management level decisions for the Recovery Assistance Center. Any county staff member can be on site. We have to have a county rep, just like Amanda does for the shelter. There has to be a county employee present. But those 3 will make the managerial decisions in consultation if they need something through me over the next month, whatever it takes to hire this person. To be perfectly honest, I would like to keep this person permanently beyond the 3-year grant period, because as you are well aware, disasters don't just happen once. Just when we thought we were done with one disaster declaration a few weeks ago, we have to re-up another one. So my long-term goal would be to keep this person, but I understand that may not be possible. So just in full transparency.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you,
I
Josh.
appreciate it. I will ask for a motion to approve item 5B.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. That'll bring us into commissioner comments. Been forcing you to go first, so.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I like going first and then, remembering all the things that I forgot after you guys go. So
Two chances.
as Mr. Johnson mentioned, we will be transitioning from the Disaster Assistance Center to the Recovery Assistance Center. We are anticipating that the RAC, Recovery Assistance Center, will be located at the former Beulah Heights Elementary School. District 60, we need to say a profound thank you to District 60 for all of their cooperation throughout this crisis, but especially going forward, Dr. Kimsey over at D60 has agreed to allow the Beulah Heights Elementary School, which was going to be vacant for this coming school year. She's allowed us to use that at no cost. So we really appreciate that partnership. I think we have a pretty clear floor plan laid out about which resources will be cited in which rooms around that facility. So thank you all to Josh and to all of our staff that have been making that transition happen. And sir, did you say that that's anticipated Monday?
Yes, sir. We're going to close the Disaster Assistance Center on Friday, and Monday we will reopen the rack at the new location.
Okay, thank you, sir. So that transition will be happening, and as we continue to look towards recovery and what that means, I think our primary job is to make sure that people know what's the most important information to have right now, and then what's the most important information to have a week from now, and a month from now, and a year from now. So that's our commitment, is to just continuing to communicate as much as possible, having a clear place to go for that really clearly lays out what do I need to know right now and what can I expect in the coming days, weeks. To that end, I would still continue to promote puebloemergency.info. The updated website, it's updated continually, but the website as of today, the very first resource on there is recovery resources. So please continue, if you have questions, that is the best place to go, puebloemergency.info. That's kind of the culmination of all of our information that's available in regard to response, fire maps, reentry maps, and then looking forward to recovery. So please continue to use that as a resource. One thing that I've heard loud and clear from folks who are experienced in disaster recovery is we as elected officials and leaders in the community need to set realistic expectations for what this recovery timeline looks like. It is not fast, it is not easy, but we will be here throughout it. And we will be operating in the most transparent manner possible to, we're all kind of learning this stuff on the fly as we experience it. So we're learning and we have to make decisions, but our commitment is to continuing to inform the public. What are we learning? What issues are we going to be dealing with? What decisions are we having to make? And how do we continue to help the community? So one thing that I want to talk about is FEMA reimbursement. The grant that was granted by FEMA up to this point is FMAG. I can't remember what it stands for, but it basically covers 75% of costs associated with immediate fighting of the fire, evacuee sheltering, the immediate costs associated with the immediate crisis. As far as recovery grants available through FEMA, there are a lot. There's various different programs, individual assistance, personal, public assistance, debris removal grants. There's a lot of various different grants that are available through FEMA. We are in the process of putting together, along with the state, competitive applications for, and then we have to make a decision on which of those dollars do we go after. When it comes time for a decision, the decision is not at the state level, it's at the federal level, and it comes down to the presidential administration that decides yay or nay on these applications. So as we go through this process, we, again, will continue to inform as much as we possibly can and do everything we can as we march this application up the chain to, make sure that all of our details, this package is as complete as possible. And really, it's the state and Governor Polis that submits that request. But we will continue to keep you informed. That timeline is, within the next couple months, it sounds like we have to submit that application package and it will get up to FEMA and the presidential administration. And then we don't know, there's really no strict timeline on when we will hear back. But I just want to reiterate, our job is to educate, to inform to the best of our abilities, keep you posted, set realistic expectations for what this looks like, and provide as much information as easily accessible as we possibly can. So that's our commitment. We will work closely with the sheriff's office, of course, to do that. Our state and local partners have been amazing up to this point, and we will continue to lean on them as the three of us and really our whole county learns how to navigate a disaster of this size here locally. So that's it for now, but I reserve the right to correct the record.
You reserve the right to add what you forgot
Yeah,
in,
that's
at
right.
the end of our comments. Thank you, Commissioner. Well said. I will add, we are not through this crisis yet. We are in recovery position, but there is an active fire that remains in the Rye area. It is still there, and it will be a while before that fire is actually contained. That is one thing I wanted to bring up yesterday that I learned taking a little tour of that area. I wanted to just say publicly thank you again to our Public Works Department who dug fire lines the very first few days of this disaster. They were there helping fight that fire up in Colorado City and Rye, and I literally got to see the roads that they dug out, the fire lines that they dug out with the equipment, and the Rye Fire Chief was just amazed at their commitment and dedication. And when I talked to Director Greg George about it, I exchanged an email with him. His comment back to me is, well, this is our community and we love it. And that's where you see the line of, I work at Pueblo County and I'm a citizen of Pueblo County kind of bleed, is in the middle of a disaster where you realize your community needs you. It's not a job, it's being part of the community. And so I want to say thank you again to our Public Works, every one of those guys that worked long hours on that equipment and stayed in the middle of a fire, which is incredible to me that they didn't have to do that. They did it because they love our community. That is the one thing that I think defines the Aspen Acres fire in my mind, is it really has been a community effort, not just a entity's effort. We've got the city of Pueblo, Pueblo County, so many that have come together, all the nonprofits, all of the just regular everyday citizens who've given money and time and volunteered. This disaster declaration and the fact that we have to keep doing that, I'm frustrated by that because I didn't want to have to do one, but you know what? We're going to get through it. And as we get and build, Commissioner, you're correct. Communication is the hardest part of this job. I was always told communication will be 80% of whatever job you do. And boy, I think in this case, it's like 95%. The ability to communicate what's going on, where is it happening, where are the resources, what's the status? That is an ongoing challenge. We will continue to have to do well. And again, as you said, we've never been through this before. So all of us are learning emergency management in a way that we didn't plan on. So thank you for your efforts on that. And just thank you again to all of our staff that have given yourselves to this effort. We are at the beginning of a long, long journey. I would say none of us know the exact time frame, but this is going to be part of our existence for a while. So everybody just hang in there, have patience with us, with our teams. We're doing the best we can with the information and knowledge we have, and we will definitely be open and transparent publicly with you all about what we know and when we know it as we move forward. So thank you.
Thank you both. Just quickly, in addition to the fire lines being dug by our Public Works Department, which, yeah, I'm not, as with most of the efforts from the county level, I'm not surprised, but I'm very proud of the things that everybody has come together to do. But I mean, there's pride in seeing individual citizens up there on dozers digging those lines too. So this is truly is a community effort. I was out and about yesterday talking with some people and just shared somebody was evacuated, but again, did not have any damage. But I said, still get a hold of the crisis cleanup team, gave her the number because I'll just reiterate what was said on Tuesday that even if you don't think you have damage, you may. And even if you don't, it helps us in our ability to go out and try and pursue reimbursement on things too, and it just helps the reporting as a whole. I want to say thank you to Nate, who came down from Jeffco. He left, didn't he? Yes, this morning or yesterday. But I mean, been seeing that guy a ton. We have meetings every day at 2, and just on this emergency recovery plan. And him to give us that template, even though he plastered his face all over the front of it, which was pretty funny. And Josh gave him a hard time about that yesterday. But to be able to implement this plan is something that we are all working towards as soon as possible. And, you know, I want to thank the health department for being crucial in this piece. We have been talking with individual companies out there and providers to try and establish some, what's a correct name of it, Jen? Like a centralized waste location so that we have this plan. Again, I talked to Brendan yesterday about giving him that, talked to the sheriff. We're going to try and finalize that as soon as possible, potentially today or tomorrow. And then be able to implement the place where that drop off will be, and really start that cleanup plan, because what we do not want to happen is losing volunteers, losing the offers of services by private companies. So we are really hustling to get these plans established. And then again, as was said on Tuesday, we are working to get out some more information on the ability for people to donate goods and services, from, you know, local trash companies, tree trimming services, because as Paula alluded to, we're not out of the woods on the fire itself, and we certainly are not out of the woods on the recovery plan, because this is going to be very long term. And just since some of you guys are in the room now, again, received massive compliments about your work from the building department yesterday, from another private individual, that just going above and beyond, and quite frankly setting the bar. And as was said, Jen, that people from the state want to hire y'all to come and do that for emergency services. But as I reminded everybody, you got to pay for it. So we appreciate you. We appreciate this county. We appreciate the citizens of this county, and we will get through this. And I have full confidence in all of our ability to do so. So appreciate it. Thank you all. Got something?
I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
Good. Our next meeting will be July 21st. I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.